Racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
Horse racing fans, Los Alamitos Racecourse continues its celebration of 10 years of daytime thoroughbred racing with an action-packed winter session of racing in beautiful Orange County. Racing will be held Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays through December 17th. First post will be 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Plenty of stakes action is in store this season, led by the running of the Los Alamitos Futurity on Saturday with points on the line for next year's Kentucky Derby, plus the King Glorious on closing day, Sunday, December 17th. And horse players, our live money on-track handicapping contest is back on Saturday. You could win a berth to the 2024 NHC in Las Vegas. For contest format and more, visit losalamitos.com. And remember that on Saturdays during our winter meet, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick Six pool if there's not a carryover. That's more money for our Pick Six players to win on Saturday afternoons. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. And remember, now with $10,000 added to the Pick Six pool on Saturdays if there's not a carryover. Don't miss the Los Alamitos Winter Thoroughbred Meet.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Celebrating over 2 decades of consecutive broadcasts on the great game of horse racing in Las Vegas, the Race Day Las Vegas show thanks all of our listeners and sponsors for your appreciated support.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Friday. It is, yes, finally Friday, your 15th day of December 2023, your date, 12152023. 10 days to Christmas, 9 more shopping days, and about 3 days left to the National Finals Rodeo here in Las Vegas, where things are happening. This is Cowboy Town, USA. The big finals will be happening over the weekend. We also have a closing in thoroughbred racing of Los Alamitos. And Aqueduct will be closing, taking a holiday next week. And certainly the end of Woodbine in the Great North Canada. So we got a lot of stuff that's rounding up this weekend, so to speak. And for everybody here, we welcome you to the Race Day Show for this Friday, coming to you live and direct from the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino here in fabulous Las Vegas. Of course, here in Las Vegas. We also come through the studios of KSHP 1400 AM, your sports talk radio station, AM station here, and 107.1 FM. And, of course, all the streaming stuff we got going on, our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. Oh, man. And the southpointtv.com, southpointstudio.tv, and, of course, on YouTube. That's where we want everybody to go. Go to YouTube and go to the South Point site on YouTube. You'll see the shows. You can punch them up, and you can not only watch but hear them on YouTube. When you get to that page, subscribe. It is free of charge. It's a great thing to do. Subscribe to the South Point YouTube site there. And, of course, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, you got a ton of podcasting going on, etc. Just all over the place. However you get our streaming, we welcome you to the show for today on this Friday. All right, we're going to wrap up the week. First of all, we're going to do a little bit extra on this show now. We're going to give you what the handicappers did the day before. Now, yesterday our handicappers gave us selections. Jerry Jackowitz was the only one that hit. Jerry Jackowitz in the fourth race at Aqueduct yesterday had Icy Reply that replied well for us and came home and won under Mr. Rivero Jr., paying $8.50 for the $2 Win Mutual. He also, with his link-ups, hit the dollar exacta that paid $9.70 and the 50-cent trifecta that paid $12.10. And if you're a sports player and you see those odds, for the example on the trifecta, it would be a 24-1 hit if you were talking about the equations between horse racing and sports. Always a good thing to equate once in a while, that's for sure. And as far as anything else at Aqueduct yesterday, well, the pick six paid $23,738.50. And at Gulfstream yesterday, your pick six paid $702.70. Not much going on there at Gulfstream, that's for sure. And, of course, at Woodbine yesterday, let's see, well, not much going on there at Woodbine either, really. It was kind of a medicinal day of racing across the country, certainly with the racetracks that we cover. And what about, please tell me, what about the Las Vegas Raiders? Where the heck did this game come from last night? The town was really hopping last night with the Raiders and their huge, big 63-21 victory over the L.A. Chargers. So that got our town really rocking and rolling, and we're going to continue to rock and roll, that's for sure. All righty, on today's show, we have Jonathan Hardoon with us. We also have Bob Mazursky for Los Alamitos, because Los Alamitos goes into their last 3 days of their meet. So we'll have Bob Mazursky checking in with us for Los Al. Of course, we'll have your Woodbine pick, Ernie Perry's Clocker pick for Woodbine. Rich Ang will be along. He has selections for Los Al today. John Lendo and, of course, Jerry Jackowitz. So we got a lot to cover on the show. But before we do, one quick note. I have one news item for you. Report came out yesterday in the California Horse Racing Board meeting in California. It says a number of horses in California euthanized due to musculoskeletal injuries was up over 2022 since July 1st. Now, the number of euthanized as a result of these injuries sustained in California and official training centers has risen during the current fiscal year beginning July 1 compared to this corresponding year of 2022. So they're keeping track of what's going on with there, and we'll wait and see the ramifications of that, that's for sure. But we all want the health of the horses to be first and foremost, and the health and safety of the jockeys and the horses as well. So we'll keep that in mind. All right, you know what? I think we'll go right to our first break. That's what we're going to do. And when we come back, we'll give you your racing menu, and then we'll start off with all of our handicappers and their views and picks as well. So don't go away on this Friday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. Don't forget, go to YouTube, South Point Studios, and hit subscribe. We will be right back.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
Horse racing fans, Los Alamitos Racecourse continues its celebration of 10 years of daytime thoroughbred racing with an action-packed winter session of racing in beautiful Orange County. Racing will be held Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays through December 17th. First post will be 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Plenty of stakes action is in store this season, led by the running of the Los Alamitos Futurity on Saturday with points on the line for next year's Kentucky Derby, plus the King Glorious on closing day, Sunday, December 17th. And horse players, our live money on-track handicapping contest is back on Saturday. You could win a berth to the 2024 NHC in Las Vegas. For contest format and more, visit losalamitos.com. And remember that on Saturdays during our winter meet, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick Six pool if there's not a carryover. That's more money for our Pick Six players to win on Saturday afternoons. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. And remember, now with $10,000 added to the Pick Six pool on Saturdays if there's not a carryover. Don't miss the Los Alamitos Winter Thoroughbred Meet.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Friday, and taking a look at the weather. It's still cold out here, around 38 to 40 degrees here in the morning, and then we're going to get up to the high 50s, low 60s, but no rain or precipitation is scheduled, or at least foreseen, here in the Las Vegas area, in case you're wondering to come on up, maybe for the weekend to celebrate and watch the National Finals Rodeo. You know, that ticket is harder than the Super Bowl to get here in town. But here at South Point, the big screen TVs, all the lounges, it's a viewing party here. So it's just like you sitting right in the front row there. It's a viewing party here at the South Point. They really do a great job. They have a lot of National Finals Rodeo side events here as well, and this is really the happening place, man. The Cowboys love to come here at the South Point, that's for sure. And the arena that's here, the horse arena back here, has had some events as well. So if you want a little flavor of it, come on out to the South Point. That's the weather here in Las Vegas. As far as across the country, along the Pacific Coast, it's clear. So we're going to have great racing in Southern California. Gulf Coast, for the most part, is clear. And on the East Coast, for the most part, it's clear. So it looks like there's going to be pretty good weather around the country for racing today. And, of course, we're really concentrating the weather conditions there at Remington Park because the big Springboard Mile is tonight. And it holds 10 leaderboard points for the Kentucky Derby of next year. It's a big race for 2-year-olds down at Remington. We'll get to that in the menu in just a moment. L.A. is going to be 78 degrees. You got Miami at 75 and New York City at 57. And Chicago will be 53. Give you a little flavor of the weather across the country, which is just about the way it should be at this time of the year. So let's go to the racing menu for today. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on this racing menu each and every racing day reflect that of the Pacific time zone, because that's where we're at. And that's where they'll be playing right here behind us during this Pacific time zone here in the South Point Racebook. We are in the Pacific time zone. So if you're listening anywhere else on all of those multitudes of platforms that we have, video, audio, and everything in between, and you're not in the Pacific time zone, adjust to it. I don't want you to miss anything. like Imus Mom and Dad, okay? Pacific time zone, first post time. All right, here's the menu of racetracks available today. We begin with Gulfstream Park. Now, Gulfstream Park has their Rainbow Pick 6 jackpot carryover. Getting up there, $147,098 in the Pick 6 jackpot carryover Gulfstream today. Their first post time for 10 races is set at 9:10. At 9:10 at Gulfstream today. Laurel Park is next. Now, Laurel Park has 9 races from Maryland, mostly full fields there at Laurel. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $2,101. First post time at Laurel Park today is at 9:25 for their 9-race card. Then we have Tampa Bay Downs. Tampa Bay has a Super High 5 carryover of $1,618 there today. That at Tampa Bay. And their first post time for 9 races is set at 9:30. 9:30 first post at Tampa Bay. And they got pretty much full fields there as well. All right, next comes Aqueduct, the Big A in New York. And let's see. Weather should be just fine there at Aqueduct. How about 51 degrees by the time they kick off the first race post time? 51 degrees and sunny there at Aqueduct. And, of course, the track is labeled fast. You have 8 races today at the Big A and a first post time of 9:50 at Aqueduct. Woodbine, north of the border, their Super High jackpot carryover, $113,053. Now, remember, Woodbine closes on Sunday. So if it doesn't get hit before then, there'll be a mandatory carryover, a big one on Sunday. No matter what, there'll be mandatory carryovers on Sunday, closing day at Woodbine. But for today, the Super High 5 jackpot carryover, $113,053. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover is $5,120. Their first post time for their 8 races today at Woodbine is 10:05. Then we get to Oak Lawn Park, Hot Springs, Arkansas. At Oak Lawn, they have 10 races and a first post time of 10:30. 10:30 at Oak Lawn Park today. Fairgrounds, Nolens. Fairgrounds has 8 races, and their first post time is 10:45. 10:45 at Fairgrounds today. But they're racing down there in Bayou Country. And then, of course, we got Los Alamitos Thoroughbreds. Now, Los Alamitos Thoroughbreds going into their final 3 days of the meet, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's closing day at Los Al. First post time today at Los Alamitos is at 12:30. The feature race today is the Bayacoa Stakes, a $100,000 Grade 3 event at a mile and 16th for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up, with a field of 7 going in that. Number 7, Desert Dawn, is the 6-5 favorite with Hector Barrios aboard. The Bayacoa, by the way, is named after the 2-time Breeders' Cup Distaff winner. She did it in 1989 and 1990. The Bayacoa is the 8th and final race on today's card at Los Al. First post time, 12:30 there. Turfway Park has a Super High 5 carryover of $6,185. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $11,300. And Turfway Park has 9 races with a first post time of 2:55. 2:55 at Turfway with full fields. Penn National is next. Penn National has 7 races, and Penn Nat's first post time is at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. at Penn National today. Then we get to Remington Park. Big night at Remington Park tonight, and they have an early post time, too. Their post time today is a special one. It's at 3 o'clock this afternoon, 3 o'clock at Remington. 10 races, and the last 6 races of the 10 are all stakes races. They'll start in the 5th race with the $50,000 You See It Stakes for 3-year-olds fillies at a mile. Then you'll have the Jim Thorpe Stakes. That'll be the 6th at a mile for 3-year-olds open. The $75,000 Trapeze Stakes will be the 7th on the card for 2-year-old fillies at a mile. The She's All In Stakes will be the 8th, and that's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up at a mile and 70 yards. The Jeffrey Hawk Memorial is the 9th race at a mile and 70 yards for 3-year-olds and up. And the big race, the $300,000 Springboard Mile at a mile for 2-year-olds, is the 10th and final race. 10 Kentucky Derby points, leaderboard points up for grabs in this one. Then you'll have 5 for 3rd, 3 for 4th, 5 for 2nd, 3 for 3rd, 2 for 4th, and 1 for 5th. So there's Derby points on the line here in the Springboard Mile. 9 go to the post in this one. Your 5-2 favorite is Otto the Conqueror with Tyler Gaffleone aboard. Flavian Pratt is there, and so is John Bridgemahan and Luis Saez. It's a big race tonight at Remington. Their first post time, 3 o'clock at Remington Park tonight. Then we have Delta Downs. They have 9 races. Their first post time is 3:05. Charlestown has 8 races. We wrap up our menu with the Charlestown races. Charlestown has 8 races in the first post time of 4 p.m. And that is your racing menu for today. But the big one, of course, is at Remington Park. Now we go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go, buddy. We've got a lot of great racing going on at Remington Park tonight. Man.
Remington. You didn't give it the old Remington.
No, I didn't.
Call.
I didn't Remington tonight. But that's it. And I think the weather is going to be fine there. Before we get started with talking about anything else, of course, the Springboard Mile is going to produce some Kentucky Derby leaderboard points. I know it's early, but this is it looks like a pretty competitive race.
Well, they have a full field of 9, so that's certainly good. You have horses stretching out to a mile for the first time. Some of them are bred, and you have an undefeated horse in the number 5 horse, Glenn Gary, who I actually like in this spot. This horse is listed at 7-2. Luis Saez is going to be there to ride, so that's certainly a positive. The favorite is coming off of a big race, and, he may repeat it, he may not. But I'd rather bet the 5 Glenn Gary here, 7-2. I think it's a fair price, and that is my selection in the Springboard Mile.
All right, so the Springboard Mile gets Luis Saez into the winner's circle as far as you're concerned with Glenn Gary, 7-2 on the morning line, Jonathan. And in this race, Otto the Conqueror is the 5-2 favorite. What about him?
Well, he ran a big figure last time out, Ralph. I'm going to play this horse to bounce off of that and react. If he repeats, he still doesn't have to beat the 5. I just think the 5's a better horse. He's had 3 starts, and he's been impressive in all 3 of them, and he's bred to stretch out. He's stretching out to a mile for the first time. The trainer's done a terrific job. He's spaced his races. He's given him about a month between starts. Now he has a little more time, and this is going to be a big question mark for him, but he's going to answer it, and I think he's going to run big here.
All righty, and of course, that'll be the last race, the 10th race on a 10-race card at Remington. Again, early post time, Pacific time is at 3 o'clock. All right, coming up then we have the Big A, and then we have Gulfstream, and we have Los Alamitos, so take your pick.
Well, I'm going to stay at Remington for the first of our 2 radio plays and look at the 9th race. You got me to look at the 10th. I ended up looking at the 9th, and I really like the 9th race. This is the Jayhawk Memorial. It's also a stake race there. And the number 8 horse in here, Chrome Baby, a 4-year-old colt from the Donnie von Himmel barn. This horse just keeps getting better with each and every start. He's won at Remington in the past. He's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. I think he gets a great trip in here. I love the number 8 horse in here, Chrome Baby, 9th race out at Remington for Friday.
All right. Well, now we've got a Jonathan Hardoon late double. That's right. The 9th race, the 8, and the 10th race, the Springboard Mile, the 5, the 8-5 double, the late double at Remington. All right. Where next?
Let's go to Aqueduct. Look at their final race on the card. They only have 8 races. By the way, Sunday is their last day. They will be closed for 10 days and reopen on the 28th, the last couple of days of the year. But they'll be closed for 10 days after Sunday's card. Let's look at the 8th and final race here. And this is a terrific betting race, wide open. You must demand value here. The favorites are no better than other horses. And I really like the number 1 horse in here, Fancy Feline. This is a 5-year-old mare who's trained by trainer Rachel Sells, who does a terrific job in Finger Lakes. Finger Lakes closed, so she shipped her barn, most of it to Aqueduct. She's going to spend the winter here. This horse is listed at 10-1 on the morning line. Both of her wins have been at Aqueduct. Number 1, Fancy Feline, upsets and wins today's 8th and final out at Aqueduct.
All right, the 8th and final race at Aqueduct today, the 1 horse Fancy Final, Feline, I should say, Fancy Feline, the final of the day, the 8th race, but number 1, Fancy Feline, 10-1 on the morning line. Oh, Jonathan, please, from your mouth to the gambling god's ears, that's for sure. The 1 in the 8th at Aqueduct. And at Los Alamitos, you got the Bayacoa, the last race. You got a feeling for that race at all before I turn you loose?
Well, we got to turn the pages. Yeah, unfortunately, Desert Dawn really just looks like she towers over this field. Phil D'Amato, Hector Barrios back. Spent the last weekend in Gulfstream. He's back in Southern California to ride this horse today. I think she has the field over a barrel.
Okay, that's not unfortunate. If we can get a singleton in the last race that ends the pick 6 and the the late pick 4 and the last pick 3 and the
Add
last
the late
double.
pick 5. Add a late pick 5 to Losell. Why not? Add a late pick 5.
Okay, I'll make that suggestion to them.
You have some clout.
You are sicko, you know that. Hey, thanks a lot, Jonathan. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
All right, now we're going to bring in a man who's a little bit more sane, I think, and that's Bob Mazursky. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you today?
Yes. Well, horse players have to be a little demented anyhow, but in any case, Los
No
Al's
doubt.
getting into their last 3 days, and you have a stakes race each day. Today's the Bayakoa, honoring, of course, a 2-time Breeders' Cup Distaff winner, Bayakoa, the 8th and final. Do you see it as Desert Dawn, almost a gimme?
Well, I mean, she is definitely the horse to beat. She was a close 5th in the Breeders' Cup Distaff last time, got only beat a little bit more than a length, and she's been a very consistent horse. She's only won twice in her career, but one of those wins was a stakes win, a graded stakes win, and she's placed in 9 others graded stakes. So she's been very consistent in her career. She is the one to beat. I thought the other Phil D'Amato horse, Turned Her Loose, had a look. She won a dirt stakes last year for Brad Cox, the Rachel Alexandra at the fairgrounds. And then even Midnight Memories for Bob Baffert coming off the layoff. The fact that he's bringing her back in the stakes tells me he's got some confidence in her. And it would be interesting if she won, because her dam, Tis Midnight, won the first Bayakoa run at Los Al back in 2014.
Wow. That'll be a goodie, though. And I like the fact that you guys are putting the feature races all 3 days as the last race of the day, right?
Yeah, they've been doing that. We did it for tomorrow as well. The Futurity will be tomorrow, the last, and then on Sunday, our last race will be the King Glorious. So yeah, it's kind of something they do at night with the quarter horses. They run their stakes race a lot at night, so I think they've just been following in that trend here.
Well, not only that, but when you have a daytime and nighttime card, that won't be tonight, but when you do have a daytime and a nighttime card, it kind of is a great lead-in to the nighttime card that starts. The nighttime card usually starts, about half an hour, 45 minutes after the daytime wraps?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, with the card ending today, probably about 4:30. I mean, on tomorrow, the card will end at about 4:30. So probably around 5:30 or 6, they'll start the nighttime races.
Well, we get into the last 3 days of the Los Alamitos meet, and I can tell you that from all aspects and from all observations, at least in this corner, it looks like it's been a very fair racetrack.
No, it has been a fair racetrack, no doubt about it. We've had some right now. Edwin Maldonado, who's the all-time leader here in wins, is leading the jockey standings. He has 4 wins for the first 3 days. And then Mark Glad is 4 for 10. He tops the trainers right now. Juan Hernandez has 3 wins. He's 3 for 6. So that means he's won with 9 of his last 12 mounts at Los Al. And I think he could improve upon that percentage today, possibly.
And, the only thing is this corner is not really fans of favorites, but we use them to get into the multiple race bets as a singleton to move on to another one. But, boy, the favorites are hitting at big percentages.
Yeah, they have been so far, but that can change quickly. We've had some prices mixed in. We had a $60 horse to start the meet. We had a 23 to 1 shot win on opening day, a 13 to 1 shot. So maybe we have a few more due around the corner here in the last 3 days, because I don't know if you noticed, but we have a 12 race card on closing day Sunday. Yeah. So we'll be kicking off an hour earlier on Sunday morning. We'll go at 11:30 instead of 12:30.
I got to tell you, it's going to be one blockbuster closing day card there at Los Al, that's for sure. And of course, the Futurity is the highlight of that card, right?
No, the Futurity is tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Sunday card will be the King Glorious, which is the Calbred Stakes. That's the race that began at Hollywood Park, and it was the last stakes race ever run at Hollywood Park, and it was won by, of course, California Chrome.
Yeah, there was an offspring of California Chrome that won yesterday at Woodbine. Believe it or not.
Well, I did not see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bob. We appreciate it. Tell everybody where they can get your stuff if they want your handicapping. And before we do that, we're going to get a sampling right now. You're going to give me a horse.
I'm going to go to the 5th race today. I don't normally like to take horses that have had as many chances as this one, but I thought King Zog ran very well over the track last week. He finished second behind a dropping winner, Magnificent Ride, who was coming out of much better races. I thought he ran well in defeat, well clear of the rest of the field. He's off the rail for this, so I think if he runs back to that race, it'll be very hard to beat. King Zog in race 5. Number
All right,
eight.
fifth race in the final race in the early pick five, the only pick five you have, and the early pick four in the fifth race, the 8 King Zog. Bob Mazursky's pick. Bob, tell them where they can get dressed now.
Yeah, I'm at today'sracingdigest.com every racing day with Southern California selections. Then I do a graded handicap for the Southern California News Group papers, which include the LA Daily News, Pasadena Star News, and Orange County Registers, among others.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Bob. We will talk to you tomorrow as we wind up the meet down there, Los Alamitos, this weekend. And we will, again, talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, Ralph. Thank you. Take care.
All right. You got it. Now, don't forget, folks, coming up next, we're going to have the Woodbine Clocker Report. And Rich Eng is going to be with us. He's got a pick for Los Alamitos today. But I gotta ask him what the heck he thought of that big win by the Raiders last night. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The racing is fast and exciting at the picturesque Woodbine and Woodbine Mohawk Park racetracks in Ontario, Canada. Woodbine Standardbred, home of the Pepsi North America Cup, a summer classic.
Pebble Beach in Iran.
And Woodbine Thoroughbred, home of the historic King's Plate.
But the mighty filly has devastated them.
Full fields, exotic wagers, iconic events. Play Woodbine Thoroughbred and Woodbine Standardbred today at your favorite wagering location.
Yeah. Hold on. Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas, and now we're going to go here in Las Vegas to Mr. Rich Eng. Good morning, Richie.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie.
Well, give me your assessment of the Raiders game last night.
Well, I was happy to give out a winner finally. I liked the Raiders last night, but teams are never as bad as they look when they lose, and the Raiders lost 3-0 on Sunday, and they're never as good as they look when they win 63-21 like last night. But, this was more of a Chargers fade when you think about it. I mean, that team looked like it was unfocused. They mentally were not in the game, and they looked like they were playing for a coach who knows he's probably going to lose his job at the end of the season, Brandon Staley. But that would talk about lopsided. Wow.
One of the commentators on the broadcast last night on Prime Video said that he thought that they should have fired the coach for the Chargers at halftime.
I heard that comment, and here's a note for horse players: when you think you're going so bad you can't pick the winner with a walkover. Last night there was a panel of 4 professional analysts for Prime Video. Two of them picked the Raiders, 2 of them picked the Chargers. So there are people who like the Chargers last night, and by halftime it's 42-0. You really have egg on your face.
Well, I will say, as you said before, and this is something you really got to take, especially this year during the NFL, where it seems like anything goes in the NFL this year. The teams that win big are not as good as it looks. The teams that lose big are not as bad as it looks. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward. But it was nice for us here in Las Vegas to have a feel-good feeling after that terrible game on Sunday with a nice big win last night, that's for sure. We get into Los Alamitos, the last 3 days of Los Al. And by the way, Richie, we're just on the cusp of the multitude, the bevy of college bowl games that are starting. And we'll be tapping you on the shoulder on those days when we're on the air for some college football picks as well. But for today, we're going to concentrate on a horse at Los Alamitos.
Let's go to the second race. It's a mile, claiming 20,000. I'm going to try a horse that's dropping in class, kind of a nibbler in the fact that does not win a lot, but this is such an easy spot. If this horse runs an A race, maybe even a B race might be enough to win. That's number 6, Derecho Dandy, Edwin Maldonado riding for Doug O'Neill. But this horse ran a good race last time out, went second at Del Mar. Even though it was on the grass, I think the form will transfer over. If this horse equals that speed figure today, this horse wins. 25 win place, 2 for the RY, number 6, Derecho Dandy, race 2, Ralph.
Okay, I thought you said race 7, but it is the second race, correct? The second race?
Race 2.
Yeah, number 6, Derecho Dandy. Okay. And that horse, of course, with the leading rider right now, which is Edwin Maldonado. Glad to see him doing that. Second race at Los Al. Number 6, Derecho Dandy. Don't forget, you can get the rest of Richie's selections for Southern California racing each and every Southern California racing day right at the Race Day Las Vegas website. Just go to racedaylasvegas.com and hit Richie's icon. You'll be all set. And Richie, well, we're getting into the part of the season here with the holidays and all that, with plenty of football and racing action. So it's going to be nice. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I heard you commenting about all the Cowboys in town. It's interesting, Ralph, there's about 18,000 seats over at the arena, but there's like 100,000 Cowboys. So, not all of them can go to the events, but they love coming to Vegas.
They sure do, and we love having them, that's for sure. Thanks a lot, Rich.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All righty, now we're going to get Ernie Perry's Clocker report for Woodbine. Remember, Woodbine is going to close on Sunday, and on Sunday, of course, will be closing day. That'll be mandatory payoffs on all of the pools there. Ernie goes to the last race today at Woodbine. Now, Woodbine only has 8 races today, and their first post time, as we said, is at 10:05. So in the 8th race, Ernie Perry's Clocker report for today at Woodbine is number 10, Smokin' Holiday, with Emma Jean Wilson aboard, the 10 horse in the 8th race. This, of course, a maiden claiming race for 3-year-olds and up at 7 furlongs. He said Smokin' Holiday is for Paul Buttigieg, worked on December 9th in 48.40 seconds. This gelding comes off a 30-day rest and gets Wilson for the last race of the day. He thinks it'll be a winning race. So in the 8th and final race at Woodbine, number 10, Smokin' Holiday, is Ernie Perry's Clocker report pick. All right, we're going to go to another break, and when we come back, we got more handicappers, John and Jerry, yet to come, so don't go away on this Friday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. Remember, on YouTube, South Point Studio, on the YouTube site, hit subscribe. We'll be back.
Horse racing fans, Los Alamitos Racecourse continues its celebration of 10 years of daytime thoroughbred racing with an action-packed winter session of racing in beautiful Orange County. Racing will be held Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays through December 17th. First post will be 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Plenty of stakes action is in store this season, led by the running of the Los Alamitos Futurity on Saturday with points on the line for next year's Kentucky Derby, plus the King Glorious on closing day, Sunday, December 17th. And horse players, our live money on-track handicapping contest is back on Saturday. You could win a berth to the 2024 NHC in Las Vegas. For contest format and more, visit losalamitos.com. And remember that on Saturdays during our winter meet, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool if there's not a carryover. That's more money for our Pick 6 players to win on Saturday afternoons. Daytime racing is back at Los Alamitos. And remember, now with $10,000 added to the Pick 6 pool on Saturdays if there's not a carryover. Don't miss the Los Alamitos Winter Thoroughbred Meet.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the race book? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the Racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our Racebook is completely separate from the Sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back to close up this Friday Race Day Las Vegas radio program. Reminding you, we'll be here all weekend long as we wrap up the National Finals Rodeo, Los Alamitos, Woodbine, and Aqueduct, at least for the holiday, that's for sure. But before we get done, here, I'm going to just follow this bouncing ball. Are you ready? Here's the schedule we're going to have for the next 2 weeks. Next week, we're on our regular schedule, Wednesday through Saturday. Wednesday through Saturday next week, no problem. Sunday, Christmas Eve, Sunday, no show. Obviously, no show on Monday, Christmas Day, but we're going to come back with a special show on Tuesday, the 26th, for the opening of Santa Anita. Then we'll go from that Tuesday through the following Monday, January 1st, every one of those days, 7 days, right through Monday, January 1st, for the race day shows, and of course, big racing on January 1st as well. So, and then of course, we'll take that Wednesday after January 1st, Wednesday the 3rd of January, we won't have a show, and then we'll come back on Thursday and go back to our regular schedule. All right, let's bring in John Lindo. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, my man. We've got Los Al that's running today, and no doubt about it. The Bayakoa, of course, a big race, the last race of the card. But they got some really good racing going on at Remington Park today. And the Springboard Mile, as I said earlier, is going to produce some Kentucky Derby leaderboard points.
Yeah, Will, it's an interesting race. It's a 1 mile, 2-turn race, but only 2 of the horses have won going 2 turns. So it makes it kind of a you got to prove this to me kind of thing. I heard you talk with John Hardoon earlier. He mentioned Glenn Gary, who's an Iowa bred that beat Open Company at Keeneland. And he's a nice horse, but he's only been as far as 6 furlongs. I do think he'll get 2 turns watching the way he travels. But the horse to beat is Otto the Conqueror. He comes out of a nice allowance win at Churchill Downs. And the horses he beat last time, Honor Me, and there was a Dwayne Lucas and a horse in there that ran 3rd. Both of those 2 are nice horses. So he comes out of a live race going 7 furlongs, and he's a big, long striding horse. I don't think 2 turns is going to bother him at all. We'll find out what kind of track conditions we have tonight at Remington because they're supposed to have some weather. But Gaffaleone flies in to ride out of the Conqueror, and at 5 to 2 in the morning line, I make him the one to beat in the Springboard Mile.
All right, and that, of course, is the last race on the card at Remington Park. And as I say, early post time for us at Remington, 3 o'clock this afternoon. For the first race, and of course that Springboard Mile is the 10th and final. Now we get the Los Alamitos, and before we get started with the Bayakoa and the pick there, let's update the jockey and trainer standings.
Well, it's a 2-week meet, so the halfway through the meet and going into closing week, you've got Edwin Maldonado, the leading jockey. He's got 4 wins. Juan Hernandez, Humberto Rispoli, Kyle Frey, Diego Herrera, and Tiago Pereira all have 3, so it's wide open going into the last 3 days of the meet. As far as the trainers, Mark Ladd had a good opening week. He won 4. Peter Miller won 3 races on last Sunday, so he's in second with 3. And only 2 other people that have as many as 2 wins, and that's Bob Baffert and Salvador Naranjo. So, again, everything wide open with such a short meet.
I would have to say that Baffert and his 2 wins are probably quality wins, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, with the fraternity around the corner on Saturday, you got to think he's got, and he's got a couple in the stakes race today, the Bayakoa. Yeah. Chances are he might add to that total a little bit.
All right, a couple of jocks going to take a one-day sit down on the bench because of a HISA violation.
Right, you have the apprentice Jorge Torrealba and also Tyler Bays. Both of those guys are sitting out today. They have a one-day HISA suspension for one of those one strike over the limit violations.
Now, John, a gentleman who I think is a class act, a great human being, a great soul that was part of the fabric of Santa Anita, John Scher, passed away at 102 the other day. I failed to ask you about it a couple of days ago, and I don't want to really elaborate on it today. We'll do that next week when we have a little bit more time on the days when we don't have Southern California racing or New York. But just a quick thought.
He was an icon, at Santa Anita every day out there, and just he was kind, good to people, treated everybody the same, and he really was a guardian angel out there. He saved a young girl from getting run over by a horse, and at 4'11" to go and stand in front of that horse and protect that young lady, That takes an awful lot of guts.
411 at the time when what? He was about 90, maybe 80, late 80s.
Yeah, he was over 90 years old when he did that.
Yeah. Great human being, that's for sure. All right. I understand that tomorrow you're not only going to do the Los Alamitos on your sheet, Linda Report, that's available right behind me in the South Point Racebook, but you got a little bit of extra in there as well.
Yeah, like we did last Saturday, we'll cover that late pick 5 sequence at Gulfstream Park. There's supposed to be some weather in town. There are a couple grass races in there. I'm going to handicap those coming off and going to Topeka. But, again, at least you have an option there when they do have some rain at Gulfstream.
Okay, now, I waited to ask you about this, but those filthy favorites at Los Al, give me the shakedown on the percentage.
How about 54% opening week round?
54%. Oh, my goodness. But like Bob Mazursky told me, and he said on the show, there were strategic long shots dispersed along those that helped out with the pick 4, pick 5, payoffs anyhow.
There were some short prices, but there were some, long shots. I think, didn't the season open with a 30-1 shot on the first race opening day?
Yeah, $60 horse, but I didn't have that either. So anyhow. All right, thought on the Bayakoa and then a pick.
I think, Desert Dawn's going to be the obvious favorite coming out of a good race in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, but I think she's, 2 for 17 lifetime. She just doesn't win much, and she comes from off the pace, so she's dependent on what happens in front of her. At a low price, I think she's vulnerable. I like Midnight Memories coming back for Baffert on the rail, a little bit more tactical speed. All of her 2-turn races are good, and she's run well fresh before. So for me, a little edge to Midnight Memories, just because I just don't trust Desert Dawn at a short price.
All righty. And, of course, Midnight Memories gets Juan Hernandez, who knows how to negotiate that racetrack, that's for sure, in the Bayakoa. That's the last race, the 8th on the card for 8 races today at Los Al. Like Bob alluded to, Sunday's going to be a big day of racing, and so is Saturday, right?
Yeah, 12 race card Sunday with an early post, 11:30. Good card tomorrow, capped off by the the Los Alamitos fraternity.
Yeah.
So, they finish off this meet really well, and the field sizes are pretty good today. So, not a bad day to take a shot.
A horse for the course.
Let's go to race number 3. I like the outside horse, number 8, On the Whim, coming off a nice maiden win on the grass at Santa Anita. Grass horses tend to handle this main track at Los Al better than the main track over at Santa Anita. And he's worked well in the dirt in the meantime. Outside post, stalking trip, 3-1 on the morning line, On the Whim, right back to the winner's circle today, race 3, Los Alamitos.
All right, so we got third race. You got the 8 On the Whim, the 8 in the third race at Los Alamitos, and that is your selection. I want to remind everybody again, the John Lindo's Lindo Report that covers all the Southern California racing, and of course, like extra stuff with Gulfstream and other racetracks throughout the year. His Lindo Report, the comprehensive report, is available here at the South Point, only at the South Point here in Las Vegas. It is free of charge, covers handicapping and all the races on the Lindo Report for that track that day, plus a suggested late pick 4 and all this goody information that he just told us about, jockey trainer standings, etc. So the Lindo Report, comprehensive Lindo Report for today, right now, right behind me in the South Point Racebook, free of charge, exclusively for you, complimentary, and it's the only place in Las Vegas that you can get that Lindo Report, that's for sure. John, I see a horse picture behind you. What might that be?
Oh, that's a mare named Star of Quality who won the Desert. I guess I can't remember. Dream of Summer Stakes at Santa Anita, and I've got Amazombi up there, and I think another one that might be a Risky Proposition on the other side. I can't remember.
Okay, and that is, of course, from your
few stakes wins for us.
That's from your home office here in Las Vegas, huh?
Yes.
All right.
So they allow wagering out here, so we can do that.
Yes. And by the way, I would imagine that here in Vegas, you might stop by and do a little horse playing out at the South Point a little bit later, huh?
I will be by the racebook today for sure. I'll be by sometime tomorrow as well. And you've got some bowl games going on and some other things. So, and watching all the Cowboys in town, it looks like they're having a ball. So I want to get out there and have some fun.
John, let me ask you this. I know that your main residence is Southern California, and I have to ask this. So you had, the Chargers were playing the Raiders last night, And but you were here in Las Vegas by the time the Raiders were done with their, let's say, their unbelievable game here at Allegiant Stadium. But being like a resident of both places, what did you expect from this game last night?
I expected the Chargers to kind of do what they did. Justin Herbert is a terrific quarterback, and he takes a lot of heat because they've lost a lot of close games.
Yeah.
But I think they showed a little bit last night what happens when he's not around. And, it's a team that left San Diego that Charger fans down there are not happy about. So when they have a little adversity, we just enjoy it a little bit.
Well, it was enjoyable last night, that's for sure. Thanks a lot, John. We'll see you here at the South Point a little bit later on, buddy.
All right. Good luck today.
All right, now let's go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. It's a happy day in Raiderland today.
I know. I'm sure that you were wearing your Raiders T-shirt last night, but even the outcome of that race was hard for anybody to believe, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, did I say race? I meant game.
You said race, but you meant football game.
Yeah. Well, I got racing on my mind, and especially today. We want to thank you for that winner yesterday at Aqueduct. You not only hit the winner, but you had the exacta with the link-ups and the trifecta as well. So let's get started with some stuff today.
Okay, let's go to the 6th today at Aqueduct. La Gervina, or Gervina, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, is a 3-year-old filly raced twice, once in August and once in September. That in itself is not a great profile, but the two races are really superior races. And if she can improve with a little bit of age for the very fine trainer Linda Rice, she would be a pretty easy winner. But when you see a 2-number horse late in the year, 2-number 3-year-old late in the 3-year-old season, there's something not exactly right with her, that she couldn't get to the races and she hasn't kept going once she's gotten started. So this isn't a laydown. If she's under 2-1, I probably would pass. But at 2-1 or higher, I'll take the 3 horse in race number 6 and play the 3 over the 147. Certainly doing reverses, 147 over the 3.
All right, the 3, La Gervina. The 3 in the 6th race. Link-ups are 1, 4, 7 in reverse. $2 ROI on the 3. And by the way, Linda Rice is just one victory behind Chad Brown right now in the trainer standings there at Aqueduct. We'll go to Los Alamitos now.
Yeah, she's really second to none. She's really good,
and she's getting very close to. She's getting very close to the all-time yearly record of wins there as well. I know that John has been keeping track of that as well. Yeah.
Well, you have to know she does it with more moderate stock.
Yeah.
Chad Brown's doing it with the creme de la creme. So
so she's doing it with the horses that go to work with the lunch pail in their hand. That's for sure.
You bet.
All right, Los Al.
Sort of like, let's go to the 7th today at Los Alamitos. I'm going down inside sort of to the 3-horse Barbara. It's Gary Studi claim. Freshened it up after the claim and puts her in an appropriate spot at 16. There's a workout in November that was very fast. Sort of tells me that he found a way to get her to run fast. And maybe he's given her a little time since that workout to recover and go forward again. I think she's sort of worth a little play at the number 3 horse in race number 7. Again, 5-2 or better sounds right here. I'll play the 3 over the 6, 7, and 8. Do reverses, but the 3 Barbara. That's our Pop-Out Key and Feature play at Los Alamitos.
All right, Los Al, in the 7th race, you like the 3 over 6, 7, 8, and reverse. $2 ROI on the 3 in the 7th at Los Alamitos. I want to remind everybody, Jerry J's power pages for all of Los Al and all of Aqueduct are available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. And, Jerry, when we get to next week, Aqueduct's going to take a little bit of a holiday break until the day after Christmas. And, of course, Los Alamitos wraps up on Sunday as well. And then the races in Southern California don't start until the day after Christmas with the opening of Santa Anita. What is ahead for the Power Pages? A little vacation there?
Well, you can call it a vacation. It's work. I've got some programming to do and then lots and lots of data to collect. So I'll be catching up. That's a good time for me. And we'll be back in the swing of it come the opening at Santa Anita.
All right, and we want to remind everybody again that maybe you can stop by and do the shows with us anyhow, talk a little bit about the Eclipse Awards and anything else that might be on your mind. How about that?
You bet.
Okay.
Yes. Stop by.
Yes, we are going to bet. We're going to make a bet today on all the plays on the show, that's for sure. And until tomorrow, Saturday, one more thing to say, and Jerry's going to say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.